So let's talk about backcourt violations, commonly known as over and back. Got a bunch of videos all queued up. I'm going to pull the first one up so we can get right started. All right. This is a good start. For all of you on our Facebook page, I posted this a week or so ago. So I'm going to play it now, and I'm just going to let you watch and see what you think. We see that? Was that a backcourt violation that they missed? Too afraid to say. I'm going to play it again.
Let's see.
Watch it, and then we'll slow it down.
Great no call.
Wow.
Are we sure it's a no call? He looks like he got all the way over, didn't he?
Ball didn't.
All right. He's a dribbling player. That's the first thing to point out, because what principle applies to the backcourt rule when it comes to a dribbling player?
3 points.
All 3 points. What does that mean, all 3 points?
The ball and
Both
2
feet
feet.
and the ball.
Both feet and the ball. And I only say that because the rule book doesn't say anything about all 3 points, even though that's the common language that we use. But the ball and both feet have to touch in the front court entirely. I don't know if that's exactly how it says it, but phrased similarly. They have to touch entirely in the front court before that dribbling player is considered to be in the front court. Which means if one of them does not touch, then they're not considered in the front court, right? So what happens here? Right now they've got backcourt status, okay, because they're clearly in the backcourt. If we stop it here, we see that this left foot is in the front court, right? So the left foot is in the front court, but the right foot is not. So where is this player still considered?
Backcourt.
In the backcourt, because both feet and the ball have not come over entirely. All right, still backcourt status. We continue on. Now it looks like we've got 2 feet in the front court, correct?
Correct.
All right. The player is all the way in the front court, but the ball is not, which means what?
Backcourt. He's still backcourt status.
That's right. Now, if he's holding that ball, what status does that player have? If he's holding the ball, not dribbling it.
Front
He's
court.
holding it. He's got front court.
Right, he's in the front
He'd be in
court.
front
So
court.
the clear difference of this dribbling player is the ball also has to come over, because how can you say the ball's in the front court if I'm dribbling it? Okay. Still backcourt status. Steps on the line here, right? We can see he's on the line. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Still backcourt, obviously. And then
Ooh.
bounces the ball in the front court and continues on. So at no point in that sequence, even though he went back and forth, was he considered in the front court. We all agree with that, yes?
Correct.
And I'll bet, couldn't really hear on the video, but I'll bet he got yelled at for that, because everybody generally thinks, even if you get 1 foot over, they're in the front court and they went over and back. And I bring that up first because almost every backcourt violation where there's some controversy whether they got over or not, I hear from officials and from coaches, they didn't get all 3 points over. But it only applies to the dribbling player. So if I'm not dribbling, I'm catching or holding the ball, I don't have to bring my foot entirely over. I just need to have, if one foot's in the front and the other one's in the air, but it's hanging over the back court, I'm in the front court because I'm holding the ball, right? So let's not confuse that rule with any situation. It only belongs to, or is attributed to a dribbling player. Questions? All right.
One of the things I'd like to see when I'm the trail and I've got the 10-second count, I'm going to keep my count going to indicate to my partners that I still have them in the backcourt.
Keep your count going. If you don't think they're all the way over, you're going to keep your count going. That's great. That particular clip, I'm going to pull it up again. Do you see what's on top of the basket?
Shot clock.
Do we count with a visible count in the backcourt when there is a shot clock implemented?
Not in college. I
Not
don't
in
know
high
why.
school either.
Okay.
You have a shot clock, and I know in Illinois at least, we use them very rarely. So our knowledge on this is not vast. But if there is a shot clock, you are to use the shot clock time as your backcourt time, and you don't visually signal your count. So that works in most instances because regular season games don't have a shot clock. But if you have a shot clock, and some of these states have a shot clock all the time, they're not counting. Just a side note. All right.
The other thing,
Yeah.
and I won't say anything else tonight, you have got to figure out that your count is a 10-second count and it's not a 15-second count or a 6-second count. You got to practice getting your count as really close to 10 seconds. Now with the clock, that's a lot easier, of course.
And that's why when you have a shot clock, they use the shot clock because the shot clock is exact and you don't have to guess or be as accurate as you can. My suggestion, if you don't have a shot clock, and I agree, you want to be as accurate as you can, get as close to 10 as you can, but you want to be as close to 10 as you can over 10. Don't be as close to 10 as you can under 10. You really don't want to call a 10-second violation when there's only been 9 seconds. So count a little bit slower if you have to count a little bit slower. If you're still working on it and you haven't got it timed out yet, count a little bit slower. If you get to 11 before you call that 10-second count, I think that's okay. Do you want to be perfect? Absolutely, we want to be perfect. But I'd much rather be late a second than early a second. All right. Dribbling player again. The first couple we're going to watch are going to be dribbling players. What do we think of this one? Got an out of bounds call, but right before that, did we see she kind of came over and went back? No whistle by the official. What do we think? Good no call, or did we miss it?
Good no call. The ball wasn't past half.
And someone yelled out backcourt. Let's see.
Sounds like a coach.
Definitely 2 feet over, right?
Right.
But the ball's still backcourt.
And she's still dribbling the ball. And so since the ball and the 2 feet didn't come over, she was still in the backcourt.
Good no call.
It was a great no call. And the official was right on the division line to watch this. So you can't get much more perfect position than this for a backcourt call. All right. What do we think? Backcourt or no backcourt? I'm going to play it again. Clearly the other team thought it was a great call. What was it? What do you think?
Close.
Did the dribbler get all 3 points over the line?
Is that a legal screen too?
I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know if it's legal. Let's talk about the backcourt first, and then I don't mind talking about that illegal screen because it is part of this video and could be why he possibly went into the backcourt if it was illegal. But let's look at this play first. I'm going to move it back. We can say right now he's definitely in the backcourt, correct?
Right.
Yep.
All right. And we know from the other videos that we showed, he's got to get all 3 points all the way over before he is considered in the front court. 1.
Ball's over.
Is the
Ball's
ball
not-
over yet?
No.
Where did
The
it
ball's not-
bounce?
On the line.
Right on the line.
Okay, so is the ball considered entirely in the front court?
No. Technically still backcourt.
That's right. So the rule says it has to be entirely in the front court. So that's still in the back court. Now he's got 2 feet in, right? But
Right.
the ball is still in the back court, correct?
Yep.
Correct.
All right. Then he bounces this one. Is that on the line or is that in the front court? I
It's on the
can't
line.
tell.
It's on the line.
Yeah, it's right on that division line.
I don't know. Maybe it's just inside.
Right.
Okay. All I'm saying is that's probably too close for me to determine whether he's in. I'm going to err on the side that it's still in the backcourt.
Yes.
I will say this, looking at this video right here, I would definitively say that's in the front court. I can pretty much see that line's not being touched. Not for sure, but on the floor in real time, that's too close. I'm going to
Yeah,
err on
but
the
the-
side that it's not.
Right.
But the
Sin-
ball is round.
Right. And if
Yeah.
it bounces down and smashes onto that line, depending how hard he bounces it. So if that's still considered on the line, was this a backcourt violation?
No.
No, not if it was on the division line.
That's right, because he bounces it again on the division line. Let's not split hairs on the close ones. If we're not sure, then we say that it's in the backcourt. We agree on that?
Agreed.
I'd rather get yelled at by a coach and not get it wrong than call it and be wrong. Now, let's look at this screen. 24 is this setting a screen, moving toward his opponent, sets right here. Does he give the player enough
No.
time or distance to avoid that screen?
Nope,
No.
illegal screen.
He
That's-
does not.
That's
That,
illegal.
my friends, is an illegal screen. And it looks like it kind of leans into him too, but you know, I'm going to say he's probably leaning because he's expecting to get hit a little. Okay. I'm going to give him a benefit of the doubt of that, but he gave this defender not even a step.
No.
You know, well, I guess if you want to consider that a step, but that's not good enough in this clip, I don't think.
I also think he's not squared up on his body, as well. I mean, it's almost like a tripping hazard there as well.
Okay. Well, you don't need to be square on a screen.
Okay.
You don't need to face your opponent to set a screen. You can be facing any direction.
All right.
Okay. Now I kind of agree with you as the squareness as far as he sticks his hip out into
He
him.
sticks his hip out. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And the more I watch it, the less I like the fact that he's bracing for contact. No, I think he's trying to make sure that screen contacts.
Yeah.
I think that's an illegal screen.
For sure.
Yeah, who has to get that call?
That's got to be the trail.
Center should be able to help there
It's a transition.
Yeah,
play.
I think the center could help on that.
because center has nothing to look at.
You mean
He's
the
even looking
screen or
back at
the
the ball?
screen or the backcourt violation?
Talking about the
Screen.
The screen.
Oh,
Screen.
okay. I would tend to agree that the trail's probably going to get that, but the center is not going to be
Look at-
like, hey, you're really reaching out of my area. No, the center's looking right at it. He can come
He's looking
get
right
that.
at it, and he has no one else to look at.
Yeah, 100%. The center can help out with that. Especially since it's coming down the center side. So the center is aware that it's coming his way, because once they cross over, we're now in primary coverage areas of the center. So yeah. And the trail might miss it because the trail is focused on this matchup coming through and maybe doesn't see the secondary defender. I still think the trail needs to see that, but
Right.
Well, it's right. It's actually right on the line of, and it's actually in the center's primary. That screen right there, it's in his primary. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
yes,
pretty
because the
borderline
primary goes
shipping.
to the side of the circle there of the jump
Right.
circle.
That's
Yep.
it. That's his.
But that doesn't give I'm not going to let the trail off the hook.
Oh,
The trail's
yeah.
looking at that play. The trail should be able to see that play.
Of
I think
course.
the trail, the trail is just as much at fault, but this is where the center can come in and say, I got it. And then you, as a crew, you look good. All right. This isn't a screening.
Screens can even come from lead too. Even at the top of the key, I see it pretty often. But, it's just by getting it right.
I think that's a little too high for the
Yeah,
lead. to
that's
get.
too.
The lead's really got to come out far to get that. And that is not a crew saving call. If you miss that call, you're not going to be a terrible crew. Just my opinion, but if the lead's coming out that far, it better be a train wreck. He knocked the kid over.
No, I don't mean at this one. But if there's an
Oh.
area like in the free throw semicircle, like
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if you get a big amount of contact and someone misses it and you got to come out of three out at lead, you come running out and you get it, but that's got to be a crew saving call.
the final point of this, I noticed on that last play, where did our trail point for the next throw in? I was kind of skeptical about where we were going to put the ball in for the next throw in.
Let's see.
28-foot mark.
Let's see. See where he's pointing?
28-foot mark.
Yep. Because of where
You-
does it?
There's another point coming up, I think.
Keep going. Run it. Ah.
I don't know who he's pointing to, but that's not a out of bounds point. It doesn't look like.
He's pointing to the coach, maybe.
I don't know. That's strange. Maybe the coach and him had words
Ah.
before, and he's like, "See, coach, I got you."
Well, it looks like he's pointing to the floor.
But he's pointing over here. This is where the throw-in's going to be, 28-foot mark. And why is the backcourt violation at the 28-foot mark?
It's the new rule.
Why would we put it the new rule? But the new rule means it goes to a designated spot when there's a throw-in in the front court. This was a backcourt violation. I'm trying to trick you. You're right. Come on. You know
Yeah,
better.
it's- Goes to the designated spot.
Because the violation is where? By definition,
It's in the front court.
it's in the back court. It's a back court violation. So where's the new throw-in going to be?
In the front court for the other
The
team.
throw-in
Yeah.
team's front court.
In front, yeah, front court.
Because if it's a
right.
backcourt violation, then the throw-in has to be in that court, but that'll
Front court,
become the front court for the new team, which means it goes to a designated spot.
Right.
All right, let's go to a jump ball play. This was sent to me by one of our OI members. I don't remember who. I had a couple sent to me this month. And this happened right on the jump ball. Was it? Well, let's just play it here. And this is a two-person game, so the umpire got the call after it wasn't called. Maybe he had to think about it because it's kind of odd.
Control.
Okay. Is this a backcourt violation?
Yes.
Does everybody think yes? Isn't there a stipulation? I don't want, that's not the word I want to use. There's a phrase that says on a jump ball, a player can jump from their front court and land in their backcourt without it being a violation. Am I correct?
Yes.
Correct.
So are we sure if this is a violation or not?
Well, let's see where his feet land.
This is not what happened, though.
That isn't what happened.
No.
No. He jumps and catches the ball, and if he lands with the ball in the backcourt, he is legal.
He-
There's no violation. But what does he do with it?
He lands in his front court and throws
Lands in
his
the
back
front
court.
court.
He doesn't land. Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Well, let's say he throws it before he lands, even if before he lands. And you guys are right. I didn't see that when I initially clipped this. But if he throws it while he's still in the air, what status does this ball have right now?
Frontcourt.
Right, because the airborne player jumped in the front court.
Yeah.
So the ball is in the front court. Now the rules state if he lands in the back court, then he's okay. And he can land 1 foot in the front court, 1 foot in the back court, and he's still considered okay. They're able to just to land normally. And it doesn't have to be any foot down first. But he doesn't do that. So since he doesn't do that, the ball has front court status, and he passes the ball to a player in the back court.
Backcourt
What's-
violation.
Yeah. What's happening here is a frequent occurrence when they're getting it to the guard to set up the play.
We have to be ready on these jump balls because, yes, I don't know how common it is, but I do know it's not uncommon. It happens probably more often than we think because we're not even paying attention. So I bring that up because someone could say, no, in the jump ball, that's not a violation. Well, if you, the player who catches it, comes down with it, then it's not a violation. But as soon as you pass it to someone else, it can be. All right. Let's do another one.
I kind of feel like that referee had to see the play develop first, I think, in order to make that call. I don't think he was 100% sure.
I think that official saw it happen and went, wait a second, that's not right. And then blew his whistle because he had to process the play and be like, yeah, you can't do that. And that's okay. It's okay to come in with a late whistle like that. He got it right.
Hey, Josh,
Yeah.
Jim, really quick. Had he not passed the ball, but had he tipped the ball, that wouldn't be considered control, and he could have tipped it back to the other side, correct?
Boy, that's a great question. You could make the argument if it's a controlled tip that he's passing the ball. And in order to pass the ball, you have possession of the ball. So if you think he's just tipping it and it's kind of being tipped, yeah, that's fine. It's legal because nobody has possession yet. But if you
No
think he's
control.
actually controlling like a pass, and I know that's a fine line and it might be a little different for everybody, you could say, coach, he jumped from the front court and he passed it to his teammate. I'm probably passing because it's a little too wishy-washy, I guess, that it could be. But if you're, some of them are 100%, you can see he kind of grabbed it with his hand and he totally passed it to, I could see that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I've had it where people have kind of tipped it, and it goes in the backcourt and somebody grabs it again. It's like, okay, that's not a violation because there was no control.
Yeah, if it's really kind of a tip and I'm trying to get it and I'm tipping it to myself because I'm trying to get possession, that's not really yet possession. I would agree. And that's also why I would tend to let that tip pass go because it might just be, oh, I'm going to tip it in the backcourt. I know my team is back there, but I'm not passing it to anyone. We're not going to split hairs on that one either. That's actually a good question.
I heard a good scenario on that just really quick is that if you're going to call that backcourt with a tip like that, a controlled tip, if he was going up to tip it like that and he called timeout, would you give him a timeout?
Well,
because you're saying he's up there, he's just about to tip it and he's tipping it and he calls timeout.
Okay, but
timeout.
but there has to be player possession, right? And if that player possession was fraction of a second, no, I wouldn't grant it because yes, he possessed the ball, but now it's in the air. And you can't call a timeout while the ball is in the air.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The same thing. I wouldn't call that a backcourt like Jim was saying, because I wouldn't call a timeout either.
Right.
I would let that go, like you just said.
But you have to admit there are some where they're almost palming the ball and they're moving the
that's-
ball right, and then they're making a direct pass. It's still really just kind of a
It's
bat, or maybe it's not considered a tip at that point because they're controlling. I don't know. If you don't know, don't call it for sure.
Well, Josh, the same can be said about a tipped ball off of a guy shoots a free throw. Some defender comes in and just knocks it back to the backcourt again.
Right, like off of a shot, whether it's a free throw or it's a try for a goal. Yeah, if I grab the ball on a shot and I really control and I pass it, I might consider that possession, and that's now you're in the front court, and I'm going to call a backcourt violation. But you better be sure, and everyone in that gym knows that he passed it that way.
right.
That's what I'm saying. It's got to be the obvious one is really what I'm trying to get at.
Agreed.
All right, let's move on.
That was a tough play by Williams right there.
And Koshak trying to save it. It was tipped. Oh, I don't know about that. I was almost dead positive that Glenmar was tipped it.
I love these kids that are announcing. All right. This is another one that I put on Facebook for all my Facebook friends here. If you're on our Facebook group, I posted this one as well. Do we see a backcourt violation here, or was this legal? Was this an incorrect call?
That was a tough play by Williams right there.
And Koshak trying to save it. It was tipped. I don't know about that. I was almost dead positive that Glenmar was tipped it.
What do you guys think?
So I know we were just talking about the tip scenario, but the second time when he actually had the ball, he seemed like he pushed it toward his guy in the back once you see the slip. So I do think backcourt was the right call.
Okay, so this is not a throw-in or a jump ball scenario. The ball is being dribbled. They are definitely in possession of the ball in their front court. So whether it was in front court or not is not in question here. What is in question is a backcourt violation, very simply, is once you're in possession in your front court, if you are the last one to touch the ball before it goes into the backcourt, and then the first one to touch the ball when it's in the backcourt, that's a violation because that team caused the ball to go into the backcourt. Okay, so did the white team, who is on the offense here, cause the ball to go into the backcourt? I'm going to play it slow here. What do we got here? Does it look like white is touching it?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. White's touching it, and they're the one who caused it to go forward. And who's the first to touch it while it's in the backcourt?
White, so it's a backcourt.
So that was a correct call. But wait a second. I thought, let's go back. Hold on. I thought this division line here and the backcourt calls should come from the trail. Why is the center making this call?
Because the trail didn't.
The trail didn't make the call, but the trail was right there.
He's blocked.
Maybe the trail passed on it because he saw something else.
Maybe they're in the middle of a switch. Maybe in the middle of rotating. I don't know.
Where's the ball right now? As you can see the diagram.
Front court.
It's in the front court, but whose PCA is it?
Center.
The center,
Center.
right?
Yes.
And what's the center looking at?
Right at the play.
Right at the play, which is what he should be doing. So he knows because it's in his primary and the trail is looking off ball, as I'm assuming he is, because there's a lot of players in his area. He's got to be aware. He knows the center's got that play. So he doesn't have to worry about watching that ball. The ball got passed out of his area into the center's area. Great. Center's got it. So as the play progresses, to your point here, first of all, the center again, because it's still in his area, is watching all. He sees exactly what is happening. He's right on top of it, knows all the information of this play. The centers are the trail is hopefully looking at these other players. But if the trail is looking at this play, somebody said it, he's kind of stacked a bit, right? There's some players in his way. Can he really see what's going on?
No.
So he might have missed it. Maybe he doesn't know who tipped it. And if you listen to the whistles on this play, yes, it's the trail's line in the trail, but the trail doesn't know. So the center, since the center knows, the center comes in and calls it, which is great, great, great. Listen to the whistle cadence on this play.
That was a tough play by Williams right there.
And Kolchak trying to save it. It was tipped.
Oh, they're ooh.
Did you hear that? The kid got the ball and was kind of starting to dribble even. That center waited because it's the trail's call. The trail has to make that call. But wait a second. The trail didn't make the call. Maybe the trail didn't see what happened, and I know exactly what happened. I'm coming in and I'm making that call. I think that is an excellent, excellent form of officiating by the center. Now,
It's a great delayed whistle.
if the ball was on the other side in the trail's area and the center was maybe watching that play and saw it tipped, as center, I'm not coming to make that call. It's not in my area. I can't be 100% sure what's going on. I'm going to let the trail take it. And if the trail missed it and got it wrong, then the trail's going to take the heat for it. But because it was in my area and I was watching the play and I know exactly what happened, that's why I can come up at center and make that call. Agreed?
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
They got a timeout here. I'm going to play it fast again. What do we think?
Well, the first thing I see is the ref automatically saying that it got tipped off.
He's giving a tipped signal, yes?
Correct.
Okay. So let's go back then. Let's go here. Well, let's go all the way because I don't have it in this clip. That's a great pick, Shelby, because I did not see him do that. And he clearly is saying tipped ball. All right. And it looks like he did tip it, okay? So I don't know who touched it last, but let's say the defense tipped the ball. Can we all just agree that that's what happened right there?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the defense tipped the ball. I'm going to go to the zoom in now. But what happens?
Holds it right there.
Is the ball loose?
No.
Who's touching it?
Blue.
So Blue has
Does
it.
he have his right foot down yet? No.
No, but in high school, there is no stipulation on if the defense deflects the ball, anyone can go get it regardless of who it touches last. That's a college rule. That's what everybody watches. I don't know. I don't watch NBA. That might be an NBA rule. For those of you that know, you can tell me. But in high school, even if the defender deflects it, whoever touches the ball last, because it's still in team control on a deflection, is it not? When the defense deflects the ball away from a dribbler or a player who is holding the ball, does that team lose control?
No.
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 They remain control as far as definition. They remain in team control. So if the blue then is to touch it again, the team still has control of the ball in their front court. Therefore, they would be the last to touch the ball, steps on the line, and now the first to touch the ball after it's been brought into the back court. This is a backcourt violation. Okay, we have to know that high school and college are different. There aren't that many rules that are different, but this one is one that is. And we have to officiate it accordingly. Now, this official clearly said tip. Okay, so we know he's not an idiot, right? He is definitely ruling on it because he thought it got tipped and he thinks that it's not a backcourt violation. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm not. You need to know the rule, but he at least gave a signal saying, this is why I'm not calling it. He didn't just miss it, is my point. Okay? Now, do you remember what I said in that last clip about the center coming to help out? Is this something that the center can help out with if the center knows? Because it's kind of in the center's area, kind of, right? It came from the center's area. He's probably watching it. He probably sees who it went off of. He's probably still kind of watching, maybe. Well, maybe not. Let's say the center's watching this whole play and the center's like, that's backcourt violation. My partner's stacked. He can't see it. He's too close to the play, whatever it may be. Should the center come over and get that?
Yes.
Now again, we're all different. And you may say, I'm going to get it because I'm right in front of the coach and I see what the coach sees and whatever justification you have. But the trail is right there. The trail is making the call. And if the trail doesn't make the call, he's going to have to answer for his no call. All I can say is, coach, I can't see that far. I'm not sure who it went off of. He's right there. He knows everything that happened. That's what I'm going to say.
He's standing next to the offensive player's coach, though, so he's not going to say anything.
Yeah, and it's right. He's not going to say anything, but the other coach may yell at you. But I think this is a scenario where, as a center, don't come out of your area to get that. It's too far away, and it's going to look bad because it's literally right in front of your partner. Okay?
Josh, question, this is Victor.
Yeah.
I may have missed what you said about whether it's a backcourt violation or not.
Okay, it is a backcourt violation because in high school, there is no rule that says if the defender deflects it, anybody can go get it regardless of who touches it last. In college, if defender deflects it, game on, anyone can get it, even if it bounces off of me and goes into the backcourt. College says that's okay. In high school, once the defender deflects it, that team that was in control is still considered in control. Therefore, if they're the last one that touches it, they are the team that was in control in their own front court. They were the last to touch and then first to touch in the backcourt.
Okay, thank you. I understand that part. The part that is getting me a bit confused is it doesn't look to me like the ball completely crossed over to the backcourt, nor neither his foot.
Okay, let me pull it back up again. Let's see. Okay, so the ball does not completely go into the backcourt. Where is it? Let's go to the close view. Right? The ball isn't. The ball is still in the front court, but how do you determine the location of a ball? The location of the ball is where it is touching the floor, correct? Is this ball touching the floor?
No.
No. Okay. So since it's not touching the floor, we have to use a different determination as to what the status location of that ball is. The status of that ball is, since that player is holding it, is the status of the player. So whatever the location of that player's status, that is also the ball status. What is the location of that player?
1 foot on the line, on the division line.
So is he considered in the backcourt or the front court?
Yeah,
He's still, because he's touching part of it. Okay,
He is touching the division line.
Confused. Correct.
The entire division line is considered the backcourt.
The backcourt.
That player is considered in the backcourt. He's holding the ball. The ball is in the backcourt.
I see. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that was where I got confused.
Yep. And those are little things that you can't just like, you say, oh yeah, okay, I got it. No, you got to pick this part of the rule and you got to pick this part of the rule and you got to pick this part of the rule and you bring them all together to make that a violation, which is what it is, but you have to put them all together to figure it out. All right.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Rule 9, Section 9, Article 1, there is an exception. I don't know if we're splitting hairs here or not. It says a ball in team control of team A in the front court that is deflected by a defensive player, which causes the ball to go into the backcourt, may be recovered by either team. So,
keep reading.
Unless the offense was the last to touch the ball before it went into the backcourt. So my question is, do we say that he has control on that play where his foot's on the line?
Right.
That might be an interpretation that the official, the trail was interpreting that he didn't gain control until his foot was on the line, and therefore it was
okay. But that's not what the rule says, Mike. Read it again. If it's deflected, and at the point where I said continue reading.
You said may be recovered by either team unless the offense was the last to touch the ball before.
Stop. Unless the offense was the last to touch the ball, not possess it, not hold it, not dribble it, not catch it, touch it. So the last person that touches it, if the defense touches it into the backcourt, anyone can get it. But if the offense is the last to touch it before it goes into the backcourt, now they can't get it.
Okay.
And that's a high school, that is a high school specific rule that doesn't happen in college anymore. The college says, no, it's deflected. Even if it goes off of them, that's not fair. They deflected it off of me. And how can you penalize me? That's their logic behind it. High school hasn't got there yet. And then most of us want the NFHS to adopt that, but they haven't, so that we can't call it that way.
So
it'll make our lives a lot easier. Go ahead.
So
Sorry.
if I understand you correctly, if the ball had continued to cross the division line and then the offensive player grabbed it, it would have been okay. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. That's how I was understanding it. Good. Thank you.
Yep. Maybe I have one or two of those to show too that will help clarify that. Let's do.
Just to ask a clarifying question on that, Josh.
Yeah.
So the question was, or the issue was, that the ball never established a backcourt status. So
Correct.
therefore it reverts to the player, and the player basically touched it. He was the last to touch it in the front court.
Correct. The ball still had front court status when the offense had touched it last, and then it went into the backcourt and they were touching it. So they caused it to go into the backcourt.
Got it.
Yeah. And that's kind of how you have to think it through. You have to say to yourself, okay, it was deflected. It's going to the backcourt. I get that. Who touched it last? It works. This is how I usually explain it. It works just like an out of bounds. If the defense knocks the ball out of my hands and pops off my shoulder and goes out of bounds, who are you going to call it for? Well, if it went off my shoulder, I made it go out of bounds, even though I'm not the one who put it out of bounds. It was the defender who deflected it and it bounced off of me. But whoever touched it last is considered the one who put it where it went to. Does that help logically make sense?
Yep.
All right. This is a good one. Did we miss that?
Over and back.
This is an exception rule, I think.
That's the exception.
That's nothing.
Here
Wow,
is-
that's close.
Here it is
Yeah, that was
slow.
close. Oh,
Close,
I'm letting
right?
it go.
I got nothing.
I got
Good.
nothing.
Nothing.
He thinks it
Hey.
was.
Of course, he's got something.
All right, but let's slow this down. There, I'm going to back it up. I'm going to
Wow,
back it up.
that's-
Now,
that's
again,
close.
we talked about this a little bit on the other play. If he has this ball while his foot's on the ground, where is the status of this ball?
Front court.
Front court.
Because on a throw in, a player is allowed to catch the ball in the air
Right.
and then land in the backcourt, right?
Correct.
Yes.
But once it's possessed in the front court, he can't land in the backcourt. I don't know when he caught this ball. It's
That
close.
is. Oh
Right
man.
there.
You know, it looks like maybe he was in the backcourt, but it's so close. I'm calling nothing.
Right.
I'm not going to split
Look
hairs
at
on
the-
a
look at
play
the
that I can't
inbounder.
tell.
Look at the inbounder and his reaction.
Yeah.
He's like,
What are
oops.
you doing? What are you doing?
That coach is going crazy right now.
That's funny. Yeah. So again, maybe the coach was right. Maybe it was. But if it's going to be close like that, I'm going to err on the side that he's good to go. All right. Here's another one. Backcourt or no backcourt? There was no.
Ball
There was
still
no
got
whistle
backcourt
on the.
status.
Gotta be both feet on the ball.
No status yet.
No whistle. Okay, but hold on. All right, let me just play it through. Was the kid who caught the ball still in the backcourt?
Yes.
Yes.
Backcourt.
Oh, is that back foot still in the ground?
Right there.
But the ball.
Where does he jump from?
Backcourt.
Oh,
That's backcourt.
Where was the ball when it was passed?
Ball
There's
was
no
in
front court
backcourt.
status yet. There's no front court
Is
status.
that-
Gotta be both feet and the ball.
If that passer's foot is still on the ground, he's okay.
I got
nothing.
He catches the ball and he's got his foots, one in the front court, one in the back court. What is this player's status?
Backcourt.
Backcourt.
Which means the ball is what status?
Backcourt.
So because this kid caught the ball from the backcourt and jumped in the front court, is that a violation?
No.
No, because it went from backcourt to backcourt.
That's right.
Never made it into the front court. Now, let me make this a little more complicated. We've said
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
all 3 points need to be over for it to be in the front court, correct?
Yep.
Wrong.
Wrong. He's not
Wrong.
dribbling the ball.
No, he's holding the ball. So if he picks up that right foot, he's in the front court.
Is this a pick or is this maybe a drag with a pivot foot in the front court?
No.
Now, again, it's close. I don't know. And it's so slight. I'm going to say he's still in the back court. But if we're going to split hairs just for this meeting, he picks that foot up. He's in the front court
That's still down.
Yep.
because all 3 points have to come over does not apply to a player who is holding the ball. It only applies to a player who is dribbling the ball.
But if he jumps like that,
No, what
technically
I'm
he's still backcourt. 'cause
okay,
he's
but
got-
what I'm saying is, as soon as he picks this up, he's front court. He puts it back down. He's now back court. That's a violation right there.
Yeah, I don't think he picked it up.
That is too close to get. That's splitting hairs. That's, I mean, you're really over officiating. But what I'm saying for the purpose of this meeting is knowing front court, back court. We need to know if that player's dribbling. Yeah, they all have to be over. If that player's holding, if he were to pick that foot up and it was up a lot higher, I'm getting that because that is clear front court, back court. If it's close and I can't tell, I'm staying off of it. But I know the rule. I know he can't hold the ball and just pick up his foot and put it back down. I'm going to call it. I'll probably get yelled at, but I know that that's the rule. And I'm going to be, I mean, I sleep fine when I miss a call too, but you know, you don't worry about a call like that when you get the video back. Well, I do, but I worry about all those calls.
You should share that video with every state association and see how they handle it.
And 50% are going to say that's a violation as soon as he picks his foot up. 50% are going to say, and now I've got all these 50%. So it'll be 33-33. It was a backcourt because he jumped from the backcourt, and then some will get it right. And all of them will think the other person's an idiot because that's how social media works.
No doubt.
I would say don't care about what your association. They don't pay 90% of your games. What does your assigner conference want? Do they want it or do they not?
The backcourt violation
he
was
missed that
called.
one.
What do we
His
think?
foot on the line.
I think he missed it.
Erroneous ruling.
Right there, his foot is on the line. Oh yeah,
Now,
yeah.
That's nothing.
No, nothing.
I got nothing.
That away.
I agree.
now I guarantee, I don't guarantee, but for lack of a better way of saying it, I guarantee he called a backcourt violation. He didn't see him on the line. And this is a classic, the way a lot of backcourt violations happen. That's the way it classically looks. He saw this classic reaction and said backcourt violation. But we can't guess just on what it looks like. We have to know. Correct?
Yes.
All right, let's go back and we're going to split hairs on this. Not in a game are we splitting hairs. For the meeting, we're going to split hairs. Does he pick his heel up off the line and then put it back down?
No.
I'm saying no.
No.
So-
Sliding.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think I'd catch that subtlety, but
Now, again, I wouldn't either. In a real game, he's on the line. He's totally on the line. He picks it up a little bit. I'm not even going to go there. But if we want to split hairs, if he picked it up, then that would have been a backcourt violation if you put it back down, right? Because he's holding the ball. He's in the front court, and then he's back in the backcourt.
if he had really lifted his heel up and then said that, yeah.
And even if he lifted his heel up really pretty good and his toes still on, I probably still would pass because it's just so fast and so close. It doesn't fit the game. It doesn't fit the feel. Doesn't mean that's right, but it does mean sometimes when everyone's watching and they see it a certain way, then we kind of have to see it that way too. We don't have to, but. All right. Courtesy of Jeff Rutledge. He put this on Facebook and I asked if I could use it because it is a great, great video play. It's another throw-in play. I'm just going to play it.
And that's into the backcourt.
Backcourt.
Nope.
Oh, did he touch it?
He touched it, but he didn't control it. And remember, on that inbounds play, you can throw it into the backcourt. Grubbs for three.
I love those announcers. They think they've got it down. What do you guys have? Backcourt or no backcourt?
I'd say backcourt violation.
Nothing.
I'm going to play it fast again, and then we'll slow it down and we'll break it up.
And that's into the backcourt.
Backcourt.
That's
Oh, did he touch it?
Team
He
possession,
touched it,
no
but he
player
didn't control
possession.
it. And remember, on that inbounds play, you can throw it into the backcourt. Grubbs for three.
Yeah, you can throw it into the backcourt, but what happened?
He
Here's the
touched
throw.
Tipped it.
He touched it.
All right, here's the throw in.
But there's no possession.
He
There's
clearly
no player
touches
possession.
the
You can't
ball.
have it.
Okay, he clearly touches the ball, and he's in the front court. Do we agree so far? He's in the front court,
Yep.
and he touches the ball.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, and this is a throw-in as we designated at the beginning of the play. All right, so then the ball goes into the backcourt. And he grabs it, and he starts to dribble. Clearly has the ball here, yes?
Yes.
And he's clearly in the backcourt, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
So he was the last to touch in the front court and the first to touch in the backcourt. How is this not a violation?
Throw-in exception.
Say it
Throw-in
again.
exception. No, the throw-in exception is if he catches the ball in the air, jumping from the front court, he may land in the backcourt without violation. That is not what happened here.
Okay.
Okay, so this is not the exception rule.
Yeah.
It's team
Possession.
control rule.
Yeah.
Does he have control here?
No.
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 In order for team, now I realize the team has control at the disposal of a free throw, but remember that is only for fouling purposes. Okay? So there is no team control yet. And in order for there to be team control, what must there also be?
Possession.
Player control.
Player control.
Control.
Is a player in control when he tips the ball?
No.
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 No, unless, like we said, they palmed it and tapped it and right as a pass, which is a very rare thing, but I get that. but a tip kind of upward and he's trying to get it. It really looks like he just kind of missed it and he tipped it, right? He did not control that ball. Therefore, the team did not control that ball. Therefore, the ball was never in control in the front court by that team. So he can go get it in the back court because there was no team control in the front court to begin with.
Correct.
Everybody follow that?
Yeah.
I've heard before, yes, but there is team control on a throw, and it is clear. It's in the rule book. At the disposal of the thrower, there is team control. I don't know why they haven't written in there, because it used to be in the back section when they added this team control foul rule, that it says it's only for fouling purposes. I don't know where it is, if it is even in there anymore. And they need to add it because that's kind of a clarification as to it doesn't count for anything else. Doesn't count for backcourt. It doesn't count for like the 10-second count. They have to have possession first before we start that.
Josh, just to piggyback off that for a quick second to give a scenario, isn't there a situation in that exact play where if the defense tips that and then the offense tips into the backcourt and then they go recover it, isn't that a backcourt violation or no? Because there's still no team control.
Okay, so
sorry to add ifs.
No, it's fine. Because people like to bring this up because there's a small, it's not an exception. It's just the way the rule is written technically. The throw-in exception, as we said, if I throw the ball and I catch that ball in the air, leaving the front court, technically it has front court status. Yes.
Okay.
And then I land into the backcourt. So I was front court to backcourt. Well, they're saying on a throw-in, we're going to allow that. If you catch it in the air, even though you left from the front court, you can come down and you're not going to be penalized. The exception or the technicality is if the defense tips the ball first and then the player jumps from their front court and catches the ball and then lands in the backcourt, that is a violation because once the defense touches the ball, the throw-in ends and therefore the exception ends. So they cannot catch the ball and land wherever they want anymore because the defense has tipped it. Does that make sense? I've never seen it in my entire career.
Okay.
And maybe I have, and I never registered because we don't call that. That's possible. But that's something that just doesn't happen very often. But it is technically a backcourt violation.
An exception to the exception, if you will.
Technicality. All right. How about, I wonder which ones have I not played yet? These are going a little bit faster. Has that been an hour already? Holy cow. Let me play one more and then I'll play a,
gotta have a bonus clip.
Bonus clip. All right, here we go. I don't even know what this is. I'm just picking it randomly.
Ooh.
Look at that player. He's flabbergasted. What are you
Pleading his
talking
case.
about? All right, Bart, fast again, and then we'll watch it slow. Backcourt violation or no?
I don't
Yeah,
think he
control.
had possession of the ball.
Yeah.
He clearly
kid
steps
pushed
on the
him,
line,
though.
does he not? Does he step on the
Yes.
line?
Yeah.
He did. But Josh, wasn't that a push? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a push.
That caused him to do that.
As the
Okay,
player
nobody sees a push. Nobody sees a push.
I
Yes,
did.
he got pushed. You should
Yeah,
call
he
that
got
foul, and then it eliminates all that. But we didn't get the push. All right? He stepped on the line for sure.
Yeah.
But what does the rule say for backcourt violation? If the player is the last to touch the ball in the front court, and then the first to touch the ball in the back court. Now, I know it's close and it's kind of hard to see, but when does he get to the ball? Looks like he gets it after he's off the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, right
What
there.
is the location of this player when he gets the ball?
It's on the front
Frontcourt.
court.
Frontcourt.
So he was the last to touch the ball in the front court and the first to touch the ball in the front court.
I think the defense was the last to touch in the front court anyways.
That is not a backcourt violation.
No.
No, it's not.
It's
First of all,
close. And maybe he touched it when his foot was still on line. That's totally possible. Not going to
Yeah.
discount that. But it's so close. I'm going to
Doesn't he have it
probably
right
say
there, though?
nothing.
I would have blew a whistle for a foul, first of all.
Well, okay, we missed the foul, but how many times in your game has there been a foul for something and you didn't get it? So we can belabor the fact that, yeah, if I would have got
Every
the foul,
game.
okay, but you didn't get the foul. How are you going to handle what happened? You got to move on.
True.
We can't say, coach, I'm not going to call it because I missed the foul. Right?
Right.
You might think that in your mind. Oh, I got pushed. But if you're thinking in your mind you got pushed, you're going to get the foul. So that's not even registering in your brain.
It just looks bad that he's looking through the player and can't see the ball.
Yeah, and I think the reason that call was made was he saw the foot on the line. He didn't see where the ball was, and he just split. It was a high intense game. He's on it and he got it. And he called it and we moved and we moved on. And you know, I don't know if the coach agreed or not, but clearly that kid didn't agree. All right, how do we feel about backcourt violation? Was that clear enough? Did I miss something you wanted to see?
No, that was great, Josh. For the time
Yeah, it was good.
I came in, I was just
Very good.
leaving my game. This is Derek. Hey, got a quick question for you. This happened to me tonight, just in my game. I'm just leaving. All right, the ball is already in the front court. Front court is established. I'm there. I'm the trail. I'm the referee. So the kid hits the ball. The defense hits the ball, but the kid from the offensive team gets it, but he loses the ball. Ball actually hits me and goes into the back court. And he grabs it. I didn't, my partner, I had to ask my partner. I knew it was a backcourt violation. I didn't call it. So, but the front court status was already established because the offensive team still maintained possession, but he lost it and it hit off me because I was in the way. And he went and got it from the backcourt.
Okay, so the ball was in the front court.
Correct.
There was a pass or a deflection.
Correct.
That went off of the offense.
Correct.
Went off of you standing where? In the front court?
Yes.
And then bounced into the back court off of you where the offense then regained control.
Correct.
So who caused the ball to go into the back court?
I would right now, because he lost the ball, the offense. Even though the defense, he hit it, but the offensive player regained control. I thought he did. But he lost the control after the ball hit me and went into the back court.
But it went off of you, so aren't you the one who caused it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, but my point is, if the ball hits an official, what is it considered to be hitting?
The floor.
Front court.
Wherever the floor that the official is standing. So if the official's standing out of bounds, it's out of bounds. If the official's standing in the back court, it's in the back court. If the official's standing in the front court, it's in the front court. Wherever the official is standing, the location and the location of the official is the same as the location of a player, wherever their feet are standing. So if you were in the front court, it hit the floor at where you were standing, technically how it's defined, and went in the back court. So absolutely it was a backcourt violation.
Okay. All right. That's what I agree. Okay. But I didn't call it. I was like,
and you know, and without watching the play, sometimes you feel bad because, oh, it went off of me and it wouldn't have gone in the backcourt if it didn't hit me. And I get that.
True. It really wouldn't have gone into the backcourt if it didn't hit me, period.
All right. Let's do a bonus play. Right. I think I'm going to do, you know what? I just clipped this. We ready? Did everybody see what happened?
No.
I'm going to play it again fast, and then I'm going to let it play out. I have it all marked up.
Triple whistle.
Triple
whistle. Triple whistle. I think he got fouled. Can't really tell by the video, but it sure looks like he got fouled. And you have 3 officials blowing the whistle. So I'm going to say that kid got fouled. Okay?
That's not a good spot for a triple whistle.
If a coach argues a foul like that after a triple whistle, that coach is crazy. All right. But my question is, who takes this call?
Trail.
You got 3 whistles on the play.
Definitely not
honest,
C.
I
Yeah,
think
not the
this is
center.
probably okay for a 3 whistle. I'm not thrilled we had 3 whistles on it, but it's probably okay. It's close enough to that, 3 division line area. But who calls it? Who gets to take this call?
Trail.
Lead.
Let's back it up. I hear one person say trail. I hear one person say C. Anyone have the lead taking this?
I
said
think
lead.
I got trail here too.
I would say lead. Trail's really deep.
Where does this ball currently? Whose primary coverage area?
Trail.
Okay, so Trail is watching this play because it originates in Trail's area, right? And not like close, like right in the middle of his area. Trail may be a little deep, but Trail, it was just a transition over from the backcourt, so he's still catching up. It's Trail's play. Okay, as it progresses, now where is he?
Just going in, crossed into the leads area.
In the
Right?
leads area.
This is right where it crosses over. So now it's coming into the leads area. And as it develops, where does the foul happen?
Lead.
Yeah.
In the leads area. Oh, come on, Josh. It happens in the leads area. So doesn't lead take this?
Trail.
Yes.
It's Trail's call.
Why
Trail
is it
call.
Trail's call?
Because it started in Trail, and Trail's got the ball all the way to the basket on a dribble drive.
If the
Correct.
ball starts in a primary coverage area and it's a drive to the basket, that official takes it all the way to the basket. So even though it happened right there in front of the lead, it's Trail's call. Now, if Trail passes on this and the lead sees a foul and gets it, that's fine. No one's saying that the lead can't call this. But because there was a Trail and a lead call, and of course the center, chimed in as well, then it's Trail gets first crack at it because it's his all the way to the basket.
Now, if there was a secondary defender, the lead would get that though.
Well, not necessarily. And I've said this before. The NFHS mechanics book does not talk about secondary defenders. So I can't tell you what they would suggest. To your point, secondary defenders are typically the lead because why do you take the drive all the way to the basket? Because you see the play the entire way, start, develop, finish, the entire way. But you're probably not going to see that secondary defender come in. You're probably not going to have information as to how they're legal or not. So yes, the lead would probably get that. But I'm still going to say if Trail has a foul, probably going to let Trail take it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying one can't take it over the other, but when there's a double whistle or a triple whistle as we had, we have to determine, well, someone has to take it and not just, I don't want to, you can take it. We need to know it's my primary call. I get to make the call. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish the Federation would talk about secondary defenders and provide some guidance, but they don't.
Were you lead on that play?
No, that was not my play. That was from Texas.
That was me on the Trail.
Submitted to me from a person. Oh, there was another one that someone submitted. I wanted to play it. I guess I didn't play it by accident. Maybe I'll throw it in. I'll find it and throw it into the next meeting. I need to bring up our training schedule for next month. We're back to our Thursday schedule. This month was a special Monday because, again, I had some family stuff going on Thursday, so I couldn't switch it. And girls postseason in IHSA starts next week. So I wanted to get this in before the postseason started. March 14 is the second Thursday of March. So the second Thursday of March, March 14, we're going to review. This is a lofty goal by me. Hopefully I'll get the video already and have clipped it up. We're going to review the IHSA finals for the 3A or the 4A. I might do both depending on what kind of plays we have. But we'll pull the videos for the championship finals for the 3A, 4A boys. You know what? I might even pull some girls too. They'll be the week before. That'll give me some time to clip those, and we'll go through it and we will review what happened in that game. So it'll be a hodgepodge of calls, and we'll talk about positioning and rules and a little bit of everything. So that should be good, because that's usually some good basketball to watch, and the officials are generally pretty good officials because they've gotten to that level. So we should have some good stuff to talk about. So if you can make it next month, that would be fantastic. So good luck to all of you that do get assignments. South Carolina starts next week. So does girls for Illinois. And then boys have another week and a half to go. I guess it's Monday, so 2 weeks really, but so good luck, everybody.
Yeah, I got
Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Josh.
All right, I'm out.
Yeah. See you guys.
We'll see you guys next month.
Take care.
Later.